Good morning, you guys. Welcome back to another little vlog day in my life. I might make this a couple days in my life, but welcome back to my channel. Just got out of the shower and I'm doing my skincare routine. I think most of you know, well, if you watched my last vlog, you know I am in the process of creating a skincare line. So I am actually testing out a bunch of formulas right now. This is an eye cream I am trying. Oh yeah, so I'm in that process. Things are kind of coming to a little bit of a stall with the line, which is okay. And this is sort of like the biggest lesson I've learned from learning more about starting a line and just being an entrepreneur in general. The best piece of advice I've gotten was from Joelle Lee, and she has always just reiterated that you are literally not in a rush when you're starting your business or when you're doing anything entrepreneurial or on your own, and just in general in life. You're not in a rush, and I think we put that pressure on ourselves a lot. But it's like, I know you guys wouldn't mind if it took me an extra year to do this, which is sort of one of the reasons I was holding back from sharing. I was like, it's gonna take me a while. They might, you know, get bored with it or just like wonder why it's taking so long. And by the way, if you see this crazy bruising on my neck, it is because I got Botox in my neck for the first time actually, and I'm excited about it because I have some lines on my neck. My dermatologist told me it can happen with people who have like a thinner frame. You are just more prone to sagging and whatnot, so I'm excited for these results. It's supposed to boost collagen and just give you a really lengthened effect in the neck, which is actually one of my biggest insecurities. So tangent. Anyway, I was hesitant to start posting about my line because I, you know, didn't want people making judgments on the process, but I think I have to remember like who I'm talking to. You guys are nothing but supportive, and I know you will just want me to be confident when I put something out. Doesn't really matter how long it takes. So I want to make sure I'm as happy as I possibly can be with everything. I'm putting on the Color Science All Calm just to calm things down. I also have this little like red patch right here. I totally noticed like when it was happening. I had a little bit of perfume on like my wrist and my sleeve. And it was like a more natural based perfume with essential oils, but it is potent. And I kind of like rested my hand right in this area when I was lying down, and it was like half an hour later, I could just feel the inflammation and the heat. So a little bit of like contact dermatitis, I would say, right here from the perfume. Yeah, so I knew when it was happening, and I put ice on it, and I've just been trying to keep it calm and not too inflamed. But that's the morning skincare. I am going to make a smoothie, and things are kind of just like crazy chaotic because I am going to visit my mom for Thanksgiving, which I have literally not gone anywhere this whole pandemic. I think you guys know how terrified and scared I am of everything, like scared enough that I left my job because I am immune compromised, and just everything about the virus freaks me out. Not to trigger anyone's anxiety, so trigger warning, but it freaks me out how long it could potentially last. The idea of getting it or giving it to a loved one completely terrifies me. The long-term effects that we don't know because we weren't supposed to get this type of virus, it all just freaks me out so much. So really have not gone anywhere, but I got my COVID test this week, and I have been last week actually, and I have been quarantined in my apartment alone, and I'm going to drive down to see my mom. I'm getting a hotel because she's also not comfortable like having somebody in such close proximity. We are both like very terrified of it. So I got a hotel, and we are going to have Thanksgiving on the beach. So outside, socially distant, and it will be my birthday the day after Thanksgiving as well. So maybe I'll bring the camera and show you a little bit of that. But today I'm just like getting packed, finalizing any last minute work things. Going to be finalizing some product sample selections, and then I have a phone call with my web designer slash like branding girl who is amazing. So that is what's on the agenda. I'm gonna go make a little breakfast post-workout smoothie, and I will catch up with you guys in a minute. I decided we're gonna go with a little scrambled eggs and spinach instead, because I feel like something warm and cozy, and maybe smoothie later. It's really getting cold. This is like the first time I've turned on the heater in my house, but it's getting chilly, and I just want like a warm cozy breakfast. This is the current packing situation. Are you guys underpackers or overpackers? Because I'm an overpacker. I just, especially with outfits, like it's just like you never know. And then my worst nightmare is like only packing cute fancy outfits and not having anything comfortable. So I packed a bunch of like t-shirts and little lounge sets, and then this is all the like cuter outfits, birthday outfit, present for my mom, jean shorts because it's Orange County, outfit for the drive. I honestly need a little change of scenery, so I'm so excited. This is her. Just, I'm a simple girl. Eggs, turkey, spinach, little sriracha. So basic, but so good. Okay, I'm getting set up for my little call with my graphic designer slash web designer. I'm working from bed, so professional. I know. Does anyone else love working from bed? I feel like it's kind of a problem, but I can't stop. I just want to be in here all the time. And strangely enough, I feel like I'm able to separate work from sleep pretty easy, even though I hang out in bed a lot. But yeah, I know it's not the best. So something my dad has always told me is to go into every meeting knowing what you want to get out of it, or like what the goal of the meeting is. So I think that's helpful, especially for younger people, to know just to getting all set up for my meeting with my graphic designer slash web designer. And I'm so excited to touch base because the first time we talked, we sort of just went over like the overall vision, what I want to do. She asked me sort of like what my inspiration is for the brand, and sort of like the vibe slash aesthetic I like, which is like so fun for me. I love this stuff. I have always been obsessed with like branding and fonts and color schemes and color palettes, all that stuff. So I'm so excited to just get further along with her in terms of what the logo and website is going to look like. That's just going to be so fun for me. So I have been, and I would recommend this if you are wanting to start a skincare line, or you're just thinking about how you would brand your skincare line. I think Pinterest is a great place to start. There are so many cool fonts and and pins about packaging design and branding. So I've started a little mood board for that. But I mentioned in the beginning of the video, the progress is sort of at a stalling point, and I didn't really explain. But essentially what I have chosen to do, make sure I don't miss this meeting, what I have decided to do is work with a chemist, and you have so many options when it comes to creating a skincare line, but you can totally create your own formula. You can work with a chemist doing that to come up with something really custom. I see some people doing that. I would say the cons of that are it's quite a lot more expensive. You don't have the same, you likely know the formula is pretty stable. Otherwise, the chemist wouldn't come up with it, but you don't have as much research on your side, which for me, research is such a big component of any skincare recommendations I make. And I really like the idea of knowing a formula is tried and true, and that the people I'm selling it to aren't being like the guinea pig by any means, or the first people to try it. I love going through each ingredient specifically, like with a fine-tooth comb, and pulling together the formulas that I know, overall how they will generally perform, and what needs I see most commonly in skincare. So it's very interesting. I feel like I better understand now. Like in the past, I would take apart ingredient decks and even make videos criticizing and, giving my input. I think, to be honest, this process has shown me so much about how so much is dependent on the formula of a skincare product. And as much as we, especially as estheticians, would like to analyze a product by the ingredient deck, sometimes it's just a matter of how things work synergistically together and the overall formula that the chemist has put together. So I think this has given me a lot of insight about just like why certain ingredients, and not to say necessarily that I am using these in my products, but it's given me more understanding from a formulation perspective of why certain ingredients, like even denatured alcohol or certain acids, are used in formulas. Oftentimes it's like for stabilization reasons, things like that. So it's just given me a broader perspective. But the challenge for me is like very much being super picky and finding the gems, finding the formulas that I believe in, that I would truly recommend, and not like have a conflict with. So it's been a little bit of a challenge, and I've sort of come up with a list of like the ones that I think I have a list of about like 40 that I need to get down to 25. So I'm going to be going through that, really analyzing them, and then eventually they will ship the samples to me. I will try them out for a few weeks. With the last formulas, I sent them out to my close group of friends, had everyone try it, keep a diary, and send me feedback. So that's sort of where we are at. I'm looking into the new manufacturer, and I'm going to discuss with Kaylee if she knows any options for packaging. I'm not really sure, if that's something I'm going to invest a lot in. What I've been told from every mentor is that the packaging isn't as big of a deal. Just make the product phenomenal. Do what you can with your graphic design. They say it's not really a necessary thing. On the other hand, I think I'm a different generation from them, and I know how influenced my friends and clients are by packaging options. So it's kind of just something I am taking more time out to just learn and evaluate, and I would rather take more time to make those decisions than rush into something and then not be as successful as I would have liked or have regrets down the line. So I'm really trying to take my time with this, be patient, but also stay motivated and keep myself accountable. So Kaylee's gonna call me in a couple minutes, and yeah, that's what we're doing. Forgot to tell you guys the goal of this meeting. The goal, we are putting the logo design on a brief hold while I figure out my formula and my manufacturer, packaging, etc. We are going to focus first on my website, which is pretty crucial. I have been doing virtual consultations, but I haven't had the website, so it's just not as legit. So I would love to have a hub for all my social media, have a place for blog posts, and have a place where people can sign up and book their virtual consultations with me, which I now offer, by the way. And just be more legit and have the website. So I think that's a good place to start. So my specific goal is to understand the next steps for the website.
All new information.
Oh yeah, no, that's great. So services, booking, and then I would love to have like somehow showcase or have a space to like show my podcast, Instagram, and YouTube. And then I would love to have a blog just so I'm like searchable and I can write topics on skincare and stuff like that.
Okay, cool. And then for when you actually have product, do you feel as though you want to keep everything under kind of the same umbrella? Like, would you kind of want to launch with maybe like a shop page on this new site, or are you thinking kind of like completely different site, you want it to be really separate, but then there's kind of linking that happens in between? I think from just a strategy perspective, either option really works. I think it just depends on how involved you see yourself as being a part of the brand up front versus wanting it to be like a little bit more of its own entity.
Ooh. Yeah, I am totally down to just keep everything in one place. Like, I kind of like the idea of having it all tied together.
Cool. Okay, amazing. So actually, I don't think that's going to change that much then.
Okay.
We're basically just going to build out a majority of the site without the e-commerce experience, and then when we get to that point, we'll just add in that page and those products to the pages. And so I think everything feels really in line with what I have you at in that sense, which is great. And then for logo design and development, basically we'll just work on specifically your kind of like name mark and like your signature, and we'll come up with like the palette and the typography and kind of make choices around that, but then we'll just reserve a little bit more time at the tail end for like kind of that final logo for the skincare.
Okay, I'm so excited. I'm smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. So I think for kind of what's going to happen next, I'm going to go into this initial mood board phase where I'm going to go through a lot of the different options that you sent me, as well as your questionnaire and some of the references you had, pull everything together and also pull some like example logos that I think are kind of good directions for us to explore. I'll send that to you and we'll kind of take a look at that and just make sure I'm on the right track, make a few decisions that just help inform me a little bit more about where I want to do the first round of logo designs. And then that next round will be like the first time we're seeing like colors and typography and logo options kind of all as little piecemeal, and then it'll all kind of continue to get together. So I anticipate that I'll have that mood board to you probably middle of the week after this week, so next Wednesday probably. And
yeah.
So
oh my gosh.
Maybe we can plan to just touch base end of next week and kind of talk about it.
Yeah, please take your time with the holiday and all of that. I'm not in any rush. Is there anything you need from me?
I think not a ton right now. What I'm going to do is add you to another questionnaire that's more tech-based, and so that will ask you for like all your social accounts. It'll also get you a little bit like brainstorming on look and feel for the website. So it'll ask you like some references of different sites that you really like and admire, probably more akin to like how we're going to build yours out strategy-wise versus like brands. So like other influencers or kind of estheticians in the space that you're in would be great references to kind of look out for that.
Okay, call is done. I feel like the luckiest girl in the world that I found my branding designer, because she is, first of all, just such a great person, so positive, so uplifting, so encouraging, and gives me so much confidence in the whole process. So this is a big tip if you want to start a brand, anything like that. I think if you can hire out for that, if you can put aside the cash and bring that message through all of the components you do, the website, the logo, the whatever packaging, mailing materials you use, I think it's just so worth it to hire out for your weaknesses and things that you're just not an expert in, so that you can focus on the things that you are an expert in. And something she said was just, you know, like, I'm here to take the stress off you as far as the creative process, like, so you can focus on finding the formulas and the products you really love. So I'm just so grateful I found her, and I would just really recommend finding somebody to help you with your weaknesses. Don't work with them if you don't like their vibe, if they're not enjoyable to work with, because that just brings down your overall attitude towards the process. So I'm just trying to surround myself with people who are just as excited as I am, people who are positive. Another thing is, if you have people trialing your products, giving you feedback, of course, the feedback isn't always going to be like 100% positive, but try to include people that are really excited to be a part of the process, because I think starting a line or a brand, anything like that, has its ups and downs, and you really want like a good, strong, like positive army of people who are ride or die to help you and just help you enjoy the process, because there can be days where you feel stuck, or you're confused, or something doesn't work out how you want it. So another tip is just making sure you surround yourself always with positive and uplifting people. I'm having a snack. I think it's 11:30. I already need a snack. These are my favorite. If you want like a healthy munchie, these are amazing. They're the Paleo Puffs by Lesser Evil. So I will be calling just to ask more about what are formulas that have impressed you the most, and just try to get more of an understanding of like emotion attached to certain formulas, because I think that is so important, and I want people to honestly have an attachment to the products and love them and not want to use anything else. So kind of gotta do some digging today, but I will check in with you a little bit later. Okay, I feel like I needed a little vent sesh, and in sharing in this process, I just wanted to be completely just like transparent about how I was feeling going through it, because I think, you know, something interesting you always hear is that people don't post their failures. You know, you just sort of see the finished product, and it gives people this unrealistic expectation about what starting a business or creating something of their own is. And I think that's one of the reasons why entrepreneurship is so glamorized. We just see the finished product, we see the beautiful treatment room, we see a beautiful product, we see a website, merch, all those things. You never see the behind the scenes. And yeah, I think I'm at a frustrated point for sure, because essentially it is difficult to find one laboratory that makes exactly what you want for each thing, and you can get so close and feel like you have 10 out of 12 things, but there's like those 2 things that you feel like are crucial. I am on my second chemist, who's actually based in Canada, and I just found out you can't like go over a certain percentage of actives with a couple products I like have to have and have to use. And it's not to say products that don't have above that percentage are bad. I think for a lot of people it can be great to have a milder product and percentage to start out with, but it's difficult when you are making long-term decisions for a brand. I have to decide like which percentage category I want to fall into for this one particular product. So that's when it's like you have to make those tough decisions. Do I want to make something that's like a starter formula? Do I want to find somebody else who's more like middle of the range? Do I want like the strongest, most potent thing, which isn't necessarily for everybody, but can produce the most drastic results for the people it does work for? So it's those kind of things. And honestly, I never wanted to be an entrepreneur. I never envisioned myself that way at all. My dad is an entrepreneur, and he essentially built this incredible business for himself and his family out of nothing. So I think I was around that, and I always watched his attention to detail. I watched how he worked with people, spoke with people, how he just will make things happen. He never takes no for an answer. So I think being around that was influential, but I think I was very much that kid who was obsessed with being good in school, had to get straight A's, always like envisioned my dream job was like working for a company and having that on my resume. And then I got to this point in life where I was tired of the rat race. That's when I went back to aesthetic school. And then there was a point in quarantine where, obviously, if you guys don't know, the reason I left was because I am immune compromised, and it was an incredibly difficult decision to leave my job because I love it. I love giving facials so much. My hair is driving me nuts. I love it so much, and I miss the people so much, but I didn't want to go to work every day with the level of fear I have. I also have OCD. I have a lot of anxiety around like germs and viruses, and then being immune compromised and struggling with my health to the degree that I do, which is every day I wake up not knowing if I'm going to have a good day or not, if I'm going to feel well or not, and it impacts my daily life. I essentially have to make decisions about what I'm doing on a daily basis. I can't plan things weeks in advance because I honestly don't know how my health is going to be, which is just different, and it takes like really understanding friends and family and partner to I guess be in my company and make plans with me. But essentially my health was just like, it's been too big of a battle to risk it with COVID, and I wouldn't be able to give my all to my services and make my clients feel at ease because I couldn't get over the mental hurdle of being fearful, sadly. And I just wouldn't want to go home every day after I've worked so hard and wonder if I got sick working in such close proximity to people. So for me, it was just a tough decision, but I had to leave the treatment room. And then I started doing my virtual consultations because I realized there was such a great opportunity to still work with people and utilize my strengths, which are, I think, education and product. And I love, like, my favorite part of giving a facial is talking to people about their routines and doing like problem solving, figuring out what is and what isn't working for somebody. So now I do offer that with my virtual consultation business. You can send me an Instagram, a DM to book with me. I will have my website soon. We are working on that. But I just want to say, like, I never really envisioned myself as this entrepreneur kind of person. I think it just got to a point when I was working with clients. I've always directed people toward other brands and made money for other companies, when it's always been a passion for me to create my own product and to be able to watch that thrive as a whole and be involved in people's lives as a product they love and use every day. That's my dream. I love that. So the entrepreneur like decision making and a lot of things that I think people would say traditionally, like, not everyone should be an entrepreneur. You hear that all the time, like, you should have these qualities. And for me, it's not necessarily the case, so we'll see if I fail or not. But I think if you want something bad enough, anything can be figured out, right? Like, if you want something bad enough and you're willing to put in the time and make the decisions and make some sacrifices, you can have whatever you want. Such a big driver of this line is you and the people who watch my journey and just like wonder what kind of life they can create for themselves. Like, I do it for me, but I also do it for you because I want to show you that you can do anything. And the fact that you guys have like always had this unwavering faith in me and belief in me, and like believed in my content when I didn't even know what I was doing, and I was just like a person on a journey, that pushes me so much and has given me so much confidence that I want to give it back to others who want to create something for themselves and have their own business and have their own life. So hope this motivates you or inspires you, and you don't have to be motivated to do what I'm doing. Like, I am all over the place. If you followed exactly what I was doing, like, you'd probably be really confused and really unhappy, because you have to do what feels good to you and feels right to you. So that's just always been my message, not to be in the treatment room because I am, or start a product line because I am. I just want to encourage you to pursue your curiosities. That's something I believe in so much. Like, if something lights you up in life, something gets you excited, something like makes you feel accomplished and just gives you excitement about life, and like seems a little bit too hard, like this line right now seems like this giant puzzle. I don't know what to do next. I have to figure something else out. That's okay, because it's part of life and it makes tomorrow like exciting. Like, maybe I'll figure out the answer tomorrow. Maybe it'll be next year. I don't know. But it's something to work on and work towards, and I know it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm having lunch. Self-care is buying yourself the sushi roll the day before, because you know tomorrow you're gonna have a busy day and not gonna have anything for lunch. I put a little coconut aminos and sriracha on the sushi, and I hope it's not offensive that I'm eating this with a fork. I forgot to pick up chopsticks. I had to take a break from working on the skincare line, which I think is healthy to do, because sometimes I feel like I hit a dead end and I start to get sad because I feel like I'm failing, and then I have to just do something else. And then I think just in that time, it's like you allow yourself to process things, to reach a decision that you come to naturally, that you're not like pressured into. And I think I just end up choosing something that feels like more right. So yeah, I actually just recorded an ad for the podcast, and I'm working with this amazing app. I'm so excited to share with you guys, and just sent that for their approval. Like, my sponsors are incredible. I'm obsessed. This app, you'll hear more about it when the ad comes out, and this is not sponsored, by the way, but the app is called Shape and Foster, and essentially it is like a lifestyle app that has nutrition, fitness, financial, and mental health coaching all in one. So you can take yoga classes, you can work with a financial planner. My favorite thing to do is these like worksheets that they have in the ad, and I'm just obsessed with it. Like, I can't wait for my friends to try this. I want my mom to try it. I am obsessed with the worksheets because I'm learning so much about myself and like where this anxiety comes from, because I used to just think like anxiety just happens, but it stems from like certain real, very real emotions that you might have, like fear or anger. So I'm learning so much about myself, and just submitted my little ad to Shape and Foster for their approval. Then they will say whether they like it or not. I've never had somebody say like we don't like it, but they approve it, and then I add it to my podcast episodes. And that's that. Got my bags packed, and I'm gonna do a little like self tan tonight. Did my nails. I use this color from Olive & June. I'm obsessed with. I'm doing a giveaway, by the way, a bunch of Olive & June polishes and the Skinceuticals C+E ferulic acid vitamin C formula. So that's all in a giveaway. The directions to enter, I'll put them below again in case you're just seeing this now, but it's a really good giveaway. These polishes, like, I'm horrible at doing my nails before quarantine. I wouldn't even try to do them myself because I'm just not good at it, but something about the Olive & June nail polish, it's like foolproof. You can't go wrong. This looks like a manicure I would pay for, so I'm never going back. So yeah, that's the little giveaway, and I will check in with you guys later. Never looked more like an egg. Okay, made some dinner. We got some Brussels sprouts. You can't really see. Brussels sprouts and chicken. And I kind of have a lot more to do tonight. I think figuring out that one company wasn't actually going to work was kind of a surprise, but I need this one product to be, I think I'm realizing I need it to be something specific. So back to the drawing board, and then I'll probably call it a night. Got to do a little self-tan, eat, and I'm really dreading like finishing packing. Been packing for 3 days. I hate packing like shoes, my cosmetic stuff that I like feel like I need in the morning. Jackets, like all that stuff. I don't know. It's not as fun when it gets to the end of packing and it's just like all the little things. Okay, I will check in with you guys a little bit later. Slap on a little bit of self tanner, which I haven't done since like the beginning of quarantine. I was still so into tanning. Now I've just gotten so lazy and used to being pale. But a few tips I have are to apply lotion on palms of your hands, elbows, armpits, kneecaps, feet, like anywhere that gets weird with the tanner. Then pick a formula you like. I like Loving Tan. This is the Deluxe Bronzing Mousse. Just two of the same bottles. And oh my gosh, I almost forgot. My favorite tip is to use little like vinyl gloves, like esthetician gloves, and apply your tanner with that. It will come out so amazing. I learned that from Julia Havens. It's like the best tip. So that's that. Do your skincare, like anything that has to do with water. Wash the dishes before, go to the bathroom before, so that you just don't run the risk of messing it up. Water is like the thing that will mess it up, and like I feel like I always have like a streak down because I have to put a dish in or something. But that's that. And then just make sure you have comfy, loose clothing to sleep in. And yeah, that's that. I'll probably check in with you guys like when I'm actually on my trip. But thanks for being my little vlogging pals and packing with me and just spending the day with me. I will check in with you guys a little bit later. So I am back home in Oakland and I totally failed and did not bring the camera out the entire birthday / Thanksgiving trip, but I'm honestly okay with that, content with that, happy I didn't do that, because honestly this trip was, I think, just like so needed for my mental health. And I'll preface it by saying my boyfriend and I got tested. He got tested actually, I think like 2 or 3 times before the trip, and we did quarantine and we did drive to SoCal. So we've been super strict throughout this whole quarantine, mostly because of my autoimmune condition and my parents are older. So we've just been, I would say, like hyper diligent throughout this whole quarantine, almost to the point where it's like, it's really affected my mental health, to be honest. And I am talking about this like in a future podcast episode, but I have always struggled with like really like a fear of germs and bacteria and viruses. So like living in the pandemic with an autoimmune condition is actually my worst nightmare. So in the pandemic, I have kind of like developed this obsessive pattern with cleaning and just being like super fearful of the outside world. Like even if I go to the grocery store, which is like a big outing for me in quarantine, and if you guys live in other states, you're probably like, wow, what? But even when I go to the grocery store, I'm just sketched out. I don't like being close to people. I feel like a lot of people like lack spatial awareness in general, but in a pandemic, that is like my worst nightmare, like being up close to people in the aisles. I just get so in my head about it. And I wasn't planning on like seeing my mom for Thanksgiving at all. She's like just as scared as I am, if not more. But I'm really glad we both got more comfortable with the idea and like figured out a way we could do it in the safest way possible that we were both comfortable with. And I actually got a hotel because my mom was nervous about like sharing a space with me. And I think it was great. I just like fully enjoyed the trip because I felt safe. I still had like a piece of personal space and it felt like a vacation being in the hotel. So I think that was like the best thing I could have done for my mental sanity. But we had the best time. I posted a bunch of pictures on Instagram. I posted a TikTok. Moving the camera over here because the lighting was bad. So yeah, I posted like a little snapshots from the trip, but I think it sounds so cheesy, but the best thing was just like feeling present with my boyfriend and my mom, and just like having that change of scenery I think was so powerful, because I think there's something to be said for like being home this much and just like looking at the same furniture, like looking at the same thing day in and day out. And for me, I felt like it was kind of like creating like obsessive patterns around like having everything look perfect and clean, and just like being in my environment every day, I think has sort of escalated a little bit of OCD, something I'm working on with my therapist. So the best thing I think for me to do was like have a change of scenery, have a situation where like I wasn't cleaning. The hotel was just like a great little escape and safe space. And we just had the best time. Like I golfed for my first time, which was like really difficult, but really satisfying when you finally hit the ball. So I think that's an activity I'm looking forward to doing with Dylan more. And it's a great like social distance outdoor activity for a pandemic, as long as you have your own clubs and you're not with too many people. It's a really feels like a safe activity, and just like a nice way to enjoy the outdoors and get some vitamin D, but still be within safe distance. So we did that. We went to the beach with my mom, just like walking in the sand, looking at shelves, looking at the water was really refreshing for me. We had the best food. Dylan took me out so many times to so many amazing spots. The Lido in Newport is like the cutest area. Highly recommend. If you haven't checked that out, I went to college in Newport, but I never knew this area existed. I honestly wish I brought the camera for that, because it was like the cutest storefronts, like done to the nines, like just so cute. There was this one store, Love Shack Fancy, which I'm obsessed with. They had like roses all over the door and the walls. They had great coffee, great breakfast spots. So it was a perfect little sweet escape, and it just felt like the break from reality that I needed. So yesterday was kind of like an unpacking, laundry, get my apartment situated, just get organized and like start making a list of things I need to do. And today I need to start putting them in action. So in 10 minutes, just why I'm looking at the clock, I have a consult with somebody that I connected with on TikTok actually. For any Esties listening, I know I've spoken so much in the past about how you need an Instagram, you should start building your portfolio and just sharing your journey. TikTok is like the next thing I want us all to get on. We need more Esties on there, and I really do think estheticians are the next professional skincare influencers. I think we have so much potential. We should be the authority along with dermatologists, but we should be the authority in the field. We have so much knowledge and actual expertise in treating skin, not just recommending things from our personal experience, that I think we all need to harness it. And TikTok is an amazing app, great way to extend your reach and build your brand. So I've had 2 people reach out for virtual consultations. And it was like as soon as I went away, I started getting like an influx of requests. So I'm pretty busy with those this week, and I'm going to start refining my plans for the skincare line. It's just like baby steps every day, but I am going to look at my client's intake form. I have all my clients fill out an intake form, sign a consent form, and they do pay me in advance. This is just like a system I've found that makes me feel comfortable and makes me feel like I can dive in with the prep and really devote myself to somebody and their skin. If you have these worries about, are they actually going to pay me? Are they ever going to sue me? You just like can't deliver your best expertise. So this is a system I have found in doing virtual consultations that really works for me. Okay, I'm going to get set up for this appointment and kind of review some of the notes. I have an acne client, somebody who's never really had a professional look at her skin, and she is looking for some help. So I'm very excited to work with her, and I will probably update you guys after. Okay, so I just finished the consultation, and these are so awesome. I'm so happy. This is my life. Literally just meeting people and talking about their skin is like my actual dream job. So I just can't believe this is my life. I'm so happy. I think I understand skin. I have a knack for understanding what each specific person needs, and I have a really strong understanding and love of product. So I think that's like kind of my true specialty, and a way I'm carving out my niche is truly as a product specialist and as somebody who understands what is on the market, is very experienced with products, and I know what the best of the best ones are. And I love just customizing, getting really down to the nitty-gritty, and creating custom treatment plans and product routines, lifestyle tweaks. I just love like playing detective and just hearing somebody's like whole story and kind of figuring out what are the little things that I would tweak, what are some things that like stand out to me. So yeah, this girl said she found me on TikTok, and I mean this in the least like shady way possible, but she said she has been following, you know, like a lot of the big skincare influencers. She's been following them and sort of making her choices for her skincare routine based off their recommendations, which is something I caution people against. And again, I like literally mean no shade. I think these people are very well educated for the limited experience they have. I think they have a lot of knowledge for the lack of formal education and training, but there seriously is no like quick way to understand skin. There's no Google search. There's no way to train yourself on the variety of skin types and the possible reactions, the ingredients that are truly beneficial without being in the treatment room, without actually having that time where you can see how skin changes. You're actually touching skin. You have that experience beyond just putting on product on your own skin, on your own face. I'm all for like the female empowerment, the male empowerment. I'm all for people using the internet to showcase their talent, but it's just like a fine line between people who don't have any training recommending product versus actually going through the education and getting a license to recommend skincare. So although people on the internet are like legally able to make suggestions and tell you what to use, like I think there's a limitation to that, and that's sort of what I was understanding with my client. Like she had all these classic like TikTok products. It was really interesting. And she's saying, you know, they just like aren't working for me. My skin's breaking out. It's unpredictable. It's sensitive. And I don't know what I'm doing wrong because I'm listening to these people who are so-called experts. And it's like, yeah, that exfoliant, that cleanser may be like good standalone choices. They might be okay, and they might be like good options at the drugstore, but we have to look at the skin type. We have to look at the overall picture, what somebody's individual issues are. We have to look at the treatment plan and the product, the routine as a whole. So this person was using different gel that she's seen on TikTok. She's using the Paula's Choice exfoliant. She's using CeraVe cleansers. So all in all, it's just been really aggravating and irritating her skin to the point where it's overstimulated. The skin is compromised. She's breaking out because her barrier isn't intact. And so now we need to sort of go back to the beginning. We're taking out her oil cleanser, and I know estheticians have varying opinions on oil cleansers, but for me, it's just something I don't see oil benefiting the skin, and I know that's a little bit controversial. A lot of people love oil. For me, I see it as a trend. Oil cleansing is something that was started by Korean beauty bloggers. It's not like a tried and true method for treating skin or treating acne. Nonetheless, it might be an effective makeup remover, but I find it leaves a residue. And if you love it, if it works for you, that is fantastic. But if I have a client with acne, it's something I suggest we take out of the routine and my client was saying, because I was still recommending we do a double cleanse, and she was like, wait. She's so cute. She was like, I'm still trying to understand skincare. I thought double cleansing meant using an oil. And I told her, I still think we should double cleanse at night, remove that surface layer debris, and then get a deeper cleanse going at night. But we can use sort of like a milky cream cleanser in its place, or just a gentle cleanser on the skin twice. So you're still getting the double cleanse without the oil. So I'm going to finish up sort of sending and typing up my little synopsis for my client and sending her the list of products. I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. It was so fun hanging out with you guys and sort of catching you more up on like what my business entails, everything that is going on with me lately. It's definitely a lot of change. I feel like I'm always short on time, and I'm just sort of like trying to wrap my head around everything going on. But I'm so grateful for you guys, and to have your support, and just to have you guys as excited as I am about everything that's going on. It really means the world. Before I go, I wanted to say I am doing a giveaway. I'm choosing a winner at the end of December, and I'm giving away a Skinceuticals C+E vitamin C serum. It's a beautiful product, one of the most well-researched, most popular vitamin C's on the market. Not the best for super inflamed active acne, I will say that, but if you are more of a normal or dry skin type, it is phenomenal. And I'm also giving away a bunch of Olive and June nail polishes and a little like pedicure set. So I'm going to give that away, and I will put the instructions for the giveaway in the notes of this video. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for listening and for all of your support and just encouragement with everything going on with me. It's been super crazy, but I could not do it without you. Trust me, I am like forever humble and grateful for all the cool things that I'm able to do. Every opportunity is because of you, and it does not go unappreciated. So thank you so much for letting me live my dream and my dream life. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.